What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast. Today we're talking about the new Harry Potter TV show, Star Wars The Last Survivor, Super Mario's movie, and Zelda.
Skydive naked from an aeroplane, or a lady with a body from outer space. My heart. Kickstart my heart.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
You are now tuned in to the Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast.
I love it when you talk nerdy to me.
Adam, what is up, my man? How is it going? How is your week?
It was going pretty good. It's going pretty good. As you can see, I'm in my temporary new setup.
Adam's going to have a new space. I've seen the designs. The designs are looking fresh. I'm excited to see it. I'm not excited to see it in action because as soon as he gets it all together, I'm going to have to revamp this mess and make it look a lot sweeter. But I'm super excited to see it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I'm super excited to get it moving and whatnot. And to be honest, we did a lot of the packing and the moving, and we put all our stuff in storage. And let me tell you.
Oh, nice.
No, not nice. Not nice.
Not nice?
So let me tell you, first of all, trying to fit a 15-foot truck U-Haul into a 10x7 storage unit. Oh, it's a process. It was a project in its own.
How many times did you back up? Well,
up? So to be honest, when we got to the storage unit, I was struggling to back it up, and partially is because my wife wasn't giving me good instructions of like backing me up, and so I just
cut that.
I know. So what I did is I put the truck in the park, and I was like, "All right, you do it. I'll direct you." And then she got it on her first try. So
on the first try.
Yeah. So really, I don't think it was all her fault. It was my bad because I can't drive big old trucks like that.
Let's go.
But
well done. I know you're watching. Well done.
Yep. So yeah, that's what we did this weekend.
Nice.
It was pretty annoying.
Nice.
And then of course in the Midwest it was 85 degrees yesterday. Today it's like 32.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting that pretty soon up here in New York, I guess. I thought spring was coming, but apparently it's gonna snow on Tuesday. So good riddance to all my patio furniture that I took out this weekend.
Yep, we put all our winter stuff away and regretted it. We're like, let's put it away. We don't need it. And then the next day,
regret it immediately.
Yep.
We should know better. Know better. Don't do anything until May.
Harry Potter. Are you regretting that?
No, jump right into it.
Yeah, let's jump right into it.
Jump right into it. All right, Harry Potter.
Are you regretting that they're coming out with a new series?
Listen, there's few things that I love more than just shitting on Harry Potter. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it real hard. And I want people to know I brought props. Today. This is the Harry Potter 8 film collection, right? So I have seen every movie a couple times. Big question here is what are they gonna do with this story? It's already 8 movies.
Yeah, I think it's
right?
gonna be like a reboot. How we were talking about in our last episode about how everything's rebooting.
So I don't think it's a reboot. All right. So the information that I have is that the series is going to be based on all 7 books. Mm-hmm. Here, the first wrench in the plan is that it's supposed to last for 10 years, right? So it's 10 seasons, but every season is supposed to be a book.
Right.
So already the numbers don't add up. So kind of like where are they going to go from there?
Are they going to either split it so it's 7 seasons, right, over the course of 10 years, or sorry, are they going to have 10 years of 7 seasons? Are they going to have like specific timeline splits, or are they going to do like towards, let's say, the end of the series, or like, okay, this half of the book is season 8 and this season is season 9, you know what I mean?
So, I mean, is that what they're going to do? They're going to do it like the movies where the last movie is actually 2 movies? Maybe. Is that
maybe
what they're going with?
Who knows? Or maybe they'll...
I
think that they're going to...
I don't know where they're going to... I don't know. I'm trying to grasp ideas of where they're going to go from this, because they've assured fans that it's going to stay faithful to the series, and it's going to take a deeper dive into each of the books. But how do you do a deeper dive on something that already has 8 full-length films?
Well, I actually never read the books. I don't know if you had.
Parts of them.
Okay, so you
But I have seen all the movies a
yeah.
couple times.
Same as well. But
Yeah.
true like Potter fans or like some of them really don't like the movies because they left so much detail out of the books. And so maybe it's just going to be more in depth in terms of like the detail of the books and some of those things that they wish were in the movies and skipped over stuff. I think that's probably what they mean. They're going to stay faithful to Harry Potter in that sense.
Is this going to hold people's attention for 10 years, though?
I don't
Do you
know.
think?
I don't know. If they had the budget of Game of Thrones, a similar budget to that, you know what I mean? So
They are saying they have a similar budget.
Yeah, so I think...
So, I mean, it's not going to be lacking production
No,
value.
no.
I don't think it's going to be lacking production value.
I think that...
I just don't know how deep you can dive into this series.
I think it's going to be good enough for the Potter fans, like the true Potter fans that read through the book. And if you're sticking to the book, kind of similar to... have you watched The Last of Us, that TV show?
Yeah.
Did you play the video games?
Yeah. I did play the video
so
games,
it
yeah.
stayed line for line the same as the movie or the game.
Basically,
Yeah.
Basically line for line.
So I mean,
yeah.
is that what they're gonna kind of do similar to Harry Potter?
I mean, I guess. Do you like the Harry Potter movies? Let's just put that out there. Do you like the Harry Potter movies?
I have favorites of them. I will say the last two, like, was it Deathly Hallows Part 1? That was a walking simulator. It was a walk and then teleport out of there simulator. The second Deathly Hallows, that I did enjoy that one.
Go ahead. You enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I thought because it was a little bit more action packed, and then it just kind of closed the loop for me again because I didn't read the books. I'm not a big book reader, but
yeah, I mean that's my thing. This is my big argument every single time I talk about Harry Potter. Is it's a lot of filler, not a lot of killer, right? So I always kind of think like Harry Potter would have made a great trilogy. Like if you just empty all of the fat that's in a lot of the movies and like speed that storyline up and compress it all into 3 movies, like wow, what an amazing trilogy that would have been, right?
I'm gonna disagree with you.
You're gonna disagree? How?
That's kind of with the same stuff we were talking about last week when we were talking about rushing the movies and just cramming everything in so fast. It's a 7-book series. If you're trying to put 7 books into 1 or like 3 movies, that's crazy.
I don't know. I feel like
how long does it
feel
take
like Harry,
somebody to read a book? More than like 3 or 4 hours typically. I don't know. I'm not a book reader, so I don't know how fast people read 1,000-page books, but
so I think that pertains to the DC universe, right? So I don't think you can put Harry Potter and the DC universe on the same plane. I really don't. I really don't. And I think that movie, because how many times have you watched Harry Potter and you're like, dude, pick up the pace. Let's go. Like, I need something to happen. You know what I mean?
Out of all the movies, only Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Only one time?
Yes, because that's the only one that I felt like it wasn't fast enough and I was missing out on stuff, but I liked most of them. I will say maybe the Chambers of Secrets is kind of boring to me, but the rest, like, I was also really young when I watched them, and so funny story is like I was watching, it was either Prisoner of Azkaban or maybe Goblet of Fire. It was one of those two, and I remember it was like late at night. I was the only one up at night, and it was like the darker parts of the movie, and like all of a sudden lightning struck, and I was like, okay, I'm done watching this movie. And so I got scared, and I was like, why am I scared? I went to bed, shut everything off. But that's one of my memories of watching Harry Potter midnight.
Will you be getting this new HBO Max to watch this? Because I don't have it.
I have it.
Do you have
I have it already.
You have it already?
I've watched a lot of stuff on Max and HBO Max.
Aren't they doing a price change, though? I looked at the prices, and some of it was like crazy.
I don't remember. I know it's kind of weird now that they're going to do like, it's ad prices. Like there's unlimited, like it's like $30 for no ads. It's like $20 for some ads, and then $10 for a lot of ads. So, which I think is, come on, no more ads. We're done with the ads.
No more ads, right? If you're paying for the service,
Yeah.
it shouldn't be any ads.
Right. No matter how much you're paying.
Well,
but we'll see how they do with that. But yeah, I honestly,
see how they
I
do with
like
it.
Harry Potter. I think they are not as bad as you think they are. Especially, I think my favorite one of all of them is Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire, sick.
Yeah, see, you do like some of them. I think you're just
I do like them. Like, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of Harry Potter. I just want to compress it into an amazing trilogy. An amazing trilogy. Think of like like think about the 3 Star Wars movies. Like it could have had that same type of effect where you're just like, "Oh my God, my mind is blown." But instead you're on like movie 6 and you're like,
okay.
"All right, come on, guys. Like come on, guys. Let's get it together."
But with the Star Wars, it was made to be a movie, wasn't it? Or was it a book first?
Well, it was made to be a movie.
Yeah, so they could do something like that. These were books prior to being a movie, so you can't just like.
I mean, how many movie adaptations from books like come out? Look at The Shining. Like look at look at anything. Those movie adaptations don't have to like stick word by word to the script.
But that's what people want. That's what people want. They want the story to stay the same. They don't want to miss out on anything that they read. They want to see what they read come into visual. You know what I mean?
But how much? How much detail is too much detail?
I think Potter fans would say that they want all the detail.
You want all of it.
Yeah.
They want all the detail.
Granted, that's what I think they want. I think that's where they're gonna go with the story. Stay true to the books, like they're saying, and just have crap ton of detail.
I mean, I think no matter what, this series, like, it's not gonna flop.
No,
It's gonna be one of the
No.
biggest. No, it's not. It's gonna be one of the biggest things ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, regardless of my opinion, I do not see this franchise having a problem. But I don't know. Maybe just a little bit more action. You know what I mean? Because, like, look at, like, Game of Thrones, right? Look at Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, amazing series. I love Game of Thrones. But what's, like, the number one thing that people always say about Game of Thrones is, like, where are the dragons? Like, hurry up. Let's get some dragons on the screen, right?
Right.
And I feel like that's the same kind of thing with Harry Potter. Like, this is cool, but, like, come on, hurry up. Let's get a Voldemort fight on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Let's start getting it moving here, guys.
And
you know?
I don't think they want to move it. They want to keep it nice and slow. They want to get those details, minus Deathly Hallows Part 1. I did not like that one because this felt so slow. I get what you're saying, but I felt like most of them weren't as slow as that one. That one was like
Adam's perfect Harry Potter adaptation is the exact same movies minus Deathly Hallows Part 1.
minus that one, basically. But
Minus that one. Actually, he wants to shorten it and just take that movie out of existence.
I wouldn't mind. Like you can kind of just jump into it.
That movie could have been wrapped up in the 10 to 15 minutes of the beginning of Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
It really could have.
Yeah, it's kind of
You
like
could have explained everything that happened in that movie in the beginning of Deathly Hallows Part 2 and then just jumped right into
and
it.
that's kind of what I think too. But
Yeah.
to say that all of them are that slow, I disagree. But that's the beauty of liking the movies you like and having your own opinions, right?
To each his own.
To each his
own, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I said, though, this franchise is not going to flop. It's going to be one of the biggest releases in a very long time, and I would not be surprised if their goal of 10 years is easily achieved.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about J.K. Rowling on the producer, though?
I think she's gonna keep it true to she's gonna help keep it true to what they're saying. Like she's gonna have the best advisor of it.
Do you think they just gave her that title of producer? Like she's not really gonna have like the actual producer like role,
Maybe.
as much as
They'll
like,
probably use her
like
more.
her actual role should have been consultant.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it's gonna turn into be. That's probably
Yeah.
her way of like, yes, you guys can have the rights to my books to make these movies or this TV show, but I want to be the producer. But really, like you said, they're just gonna use her as like a consultant kind of deal.
How do you feel about casting? What are we doing with casting here?
Who is it gonna be? Is it already announced? I haven't looked.
Well, because the story takes place, in such a long time span of these people's
Mhm.
lives, right? So in order to get that entire series out, I mean, they're gonna have to film. It's not gonna take 10 years to film
Right.
it. Like, it might take 10 years. So, like, are they gonna have a young Harry and then, like season 4, they switch it out for like an older Harry, or
Right.
is it gonna be the same character all the way through, kind of like Game of Thrones?
Right.
Like, what do you think is gonna happen there?
I think it's gonna be the same actor.
You think it's gonna be the
Yeah.
same?
Same actor, the whole
I
thing.
feel like it should be
Yeah.
the same.
I just think to change the face. So essentially, that'd be changing the face of Harry Potter 3 times or 2 other times, starting
Yeah.
with, wow, I'm blanking on his name.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, oh, I don't know. I couldn't think of that. Yeah, like they're already changing from that. So I feel like that may even have some negative to it. It's like, that's not Harry Potter. He's not my Harry Potter, whoever the next actor is. But again,
Yeah.
I think with all the big head Potter fans are like, but it's so true to the books, and I think that's
Yeah,
what's going to be so exciting for the Potter people.
There's some rumblings of Daniel Radcliffe and like Emma Watson coming back and stuff, and I'm just like, it's never gonna happen.
No,
It's never gonna happen. Daniel Radcliffe cannot play like a 12-year-old kid right now.
Right.
Like, it's impossible.
CGI completely.
They're gonna be like in between takes, like Radcliffe's gonna have to be going in the trailer and like shaving
Yeah.
and like,
Great,
like,
growing his-
hold on guys, I'll look like I'm 12 in a second. Like, no, it's never gonna happen.
No, they're
So,
gonna use him for.
there are some rumblings.
Yeah, that he's gonna come back and do some sort of.
There were some rumblings that they were gonna recast all the same cast, and I was like, "There's no way that this can
I don't
happen."
think that can happen.
Yeah, I don't think
The
it can
only
happen.
the only
I don't
part
think
that he can be is like in the end of the series in the movies where they come back and they have their own kids. That's the
Yeah.
scene they're gonna come back in.
What a good spot!
Yeah.
That would be such a great
Right?
spot for their little Easter egg
Yeah.
cameo.
That'd be kind of funny.
Oh my god, that's a solid idea.
Mm-hmm.
J.K. Rowling, if you're watching, this man's got some
Yeah.
this man's got some ideas for you. That's a solid
Yeah.
idea. But yeah, we're like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm obviously gonna watch it. I'll watch season 1. I'll probably watch season 1 or a few times
Right.
to try to actually get into it. Same thing with like any series. I don't know what it is about some series, but like I usually have to watch the first. I don't know if you're like this. Do you have to watch like the first 1 or 2 episodes like a couple times before you're like, yeah, I'm gonna get into it? Or are you just like, I'm definitely watching this show, and you're just 1 through 10 knocked it out?
Yep, I zone into my TV shows. If you don't have me hooked
Oh,
by
do
the
you?
first episode, I'm not watching the rest of the series.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I am. Like, it has to be kind of quick from the get go, unless it's been
Because I watched.
unless there's a recommendation from somebody. It's like, okay, you should watch this, or then they literally set me up and say, first episode is slow, but keep going. But if they don't say that and I don't like the first episode, I'm like, okay, this is boring. I did that for
You're just a one and done.
yeah, exactly. I did that for Homeland. You ever watch that movie or TV show?
Yeah.
That was how it was
Yeah.
for me. Like, my friend is like, you need to watch Homeland. And so I watched the first episode. I was like, man, I can't watch this. This is boring. And then
Can't get into it.
and then I got in. He's like, no, just give it a shot. You'll like it. And then by episode, like, I think it was like 6, I was like, okay, now I understand what's going on. I like it. And then it got to season 2, and I was like, wait a minute. Where'd the character go that I like? And then
wait a
Yeah.
minute. Where did everything that I like go?
right. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to watch this anymore. It's boring again. So I didn't give it a chance after like season 2, episode like 6.
Yeah.
How long is
I mean,
too
I-
long
I-
for a TV show series to have? Like a season, in your opinion?
I think you can like a season.
Yeah, one season.
One season. I think anything over like 12 episodes for the season. It depends on where it's coming from. Like if we're talking half-hour series or hour-long series. But I mean, if we're talking like HBO style series, like hour-long, I mean, I think 12.
Yeah.
Just give me 12 and let's call it a day.
I think the 12 to 15 is a good number. I think once you
Yeah,
start
that
pushing
12 to
the
15 range.
yeah, once you start pushing like 17, 25, it's like, okay, we gotta
Yeah, once you start hitting the 20s, I'm just like, this is too much of a commitment.
Right, it's
like I don't know if I don't know if I can do this right now.
every day watching 6 hours. You're like, okay, are we done yet?
Right,
Like,
yeah, no.
Because I when I watch TV shows too, like it's a binge, man. I will start. My wife and I, we watched. It was a Reacher. on Amazon Prime.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a 10 episode series or season. We watched all
Mm-hmm.
10 episodes in one day, 1 hour each. And so that's how I
Nice.
like to watch movies, just because like, or TV shows. I like to think of them as like a big old movie and just watch them back to back to
Yeah,
back to back to back. And that's how I like to
yeah,
watch my series. Just so I like everything's fresh in my mind. And if I like get up and wait a couple days, I forget everything. So I like have to watch it all in
yeah.
a row.
And if they do it right, I mean, that's the feeling that you get when you're watching the show is like you don't want to stop watching. Like I think, it might be cliche or whatever, but I honestly think Stranger Things is like the best, the absolute best at that, where you're just like, what is that face for? What is that face for?
I didn't
You
like
don't like
Stranger
Stranger
Things.
Things?
No.
You didn't like Stranger Things? Oh my
I think it
God,
was kind of one
really?
of those things where it's like, again, what is happening? And like, it didn't hold me long enough. I
No,
think,
you gotta go back.
okay,
When's the last time?
episode like 6 of season 1. That's the last.
That's the last
Yeah,
one?
because I thought
Oh my
I gotta know
God.
what's happening, and then, like, yeah, it was all
Uh,
like suspenseful. I was like, what's going on? Like, you want to know, but like, it didn't hold my attention long enough. Like, I want to know what's happening
Oh
earlier.
my God. Dude, every single one of their episode endings, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Like, and then you're just like, I gotta watch the next one. I
Yeah.
gotta watch it right
All right,
now.
I'll give it another shot.
You gotta go
I have to
back.
go back.
You gotta go. Yeah, we're going back.
That's funny. All right, I'll give it a shot.
We'll do it together. Yeah, give it a shot. But yeah, like I said, I'm super excited for it. Obviously, it's a new series that should be relatively good. So obviously, I'm excited for it. High hopes, not really, but like I said,
I have
it's
really high
new.
hopes. I think it's gonna be good. I think it's
Do
gonna
you,
be really good.
you think it's
I
gonna
think it's
be
gonna be
like
really
you
good.
have super high
Yeah.
hopes?
Maybe I'll even read the books. No, I'm just kidding.
You're gonna read
No,
the
I'm not
books
gonna read.
before the
No,
series.
I don't read books.
you should read the books. Like you should go back and get all the books and then read chapter 1 and then watch episode 1 and then read chapter 2 and then watch episode 2 and see like how good they do.
Okay, I'll think about that. Or maybe I'll have. We have
Uh,
the books, and actually, they're
Do you have the
yeah.
books?
It's the picture. What do you call it? Like the graphic novel. Like it's the picture book. It's like a full
damn,
book
really?
of yeah. It's the graphic novel is the word I was looking for. And yeah, it's like it's like a foot by a foot. That's huge. They're already.
I was
big.
gonna say how big is
Yeah.
that graphic novel?
It's
That thing's
thick,
got to be bigger
and
than
it's
like
like
Webster's.
yeah, it's huge.
Where'd you get that from?
Target. They have them at Target.
I need to get me one of those.
I think so. They're actually pretty cool. They're my wife. She's the Harry Potter fan actually.
Yeah.
I tried to convince her to come on this episode, and she's like, "No, I don't want to talk about
Didn't
it."
wanna do
Yeah,
it.
she's like, "I need to
No, I don't
refresh
wanna
my
talk about
memory."
it.
But
Because I crushed the game. I crushed Hogwarts.
uh,
I don't know what it was about Hogwarts. I got into it.
Did
Like
you?
I really, really got into it. Yeah.
I
I platinumed it.
I didn't get into it, man.
Here's the funny thing about the platinum trophy. So like in order to get the platinum trophy on that game, I had to play the beginning of the game 4 times because you have to, in order to get these trophies, you have to like get to a certain point in the game and you have to get there as a member of each house. And it's not like right in the beginning. Like it's not like a tutorial like, oh, you completed the tutorial as a Slytherin. It's like you need to get like 4 hours into
Oh,
it.
dear.
And then you hit this one mission and you're like, okay, this is the mission where I get the trophy. So I literally played the beginning of the game 4 times in 4 different houses just to get the stupid trophy.
Was it worth it?
I mean, it's a platinum trophy. Most people will say it's not worth it, but I'm such a trophy snob that like, I really wanted that platinum.
Honestly, I was that way with a few games too. And
Yeah.
my favorite game that I like completed 100%, like all the trophies, all the everything. Lego Marvel Superheroes, the first one.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
I was so excited. I literally played that for like who knows how long, more than I should have. But
First platinum trophy.
And this is when-
Marvel Lego
yeah,
superheroes.
and this isn't when I was a kid.
Nice.
This is when I was in college or something. My friends would walk in like, "What are you playing?" I was like, "Lego Marvel. It's sweet. I could be Iron Man. I could be
Lego, dude.
yeah."
It's so sweet. Look at these blocks, dude.
Yeah. Look at me. Look at me get the mini kit. Look, I'm Hulk now. Like that's
That's
how it
sick.
was. That's why I liked it so much. You can,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I might go back and get that game and grab that platinum.
and it's open world in New York City, which is what another reason. It's like you're open world playing as Iron Man as a Lego guy.
That's sick.
So that's why I
That's
liked it a
sick.
lot.
All right.
But
Yeah, I might go back to get it.
speaking of like
But yeah,
Lego,
like I said,
go ahead.
oh
go
yes, like I said, I'm super excited for it. It will come out at some point. If anything, I'm just excited to see like some trailers and some teasers because the trailer right now, I don't know if you watched it, is just
Yeah,
like
just like
a
announcement.
bunch of candles. Yeah, it's just like an announcement. So there's really nothing, but yeah, I'm super excited for it. I'll watch it. I know I shit on Harry Potter a little bit. It's just a little bit because the Harry Potter fans are so passionate.
They
just really hate it. But yeah, I'll be watching it. I'm excited for it, and we will see how it goes.
And other fans that are pretty passionate, Star Wars fans.
Star Wars
Yeah,
fans,
with
yep.
the new game coming
Yeah.
out as well.
New game coming out.
Jedi
Yes. So
Survivor?
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I know you played a little bit of it. In your little kind of peek at it, what did you think?
So I actually put in. So I started out when it first came out. Was it 2017, 16? One of those years. I put like maybe.
Oh, 19.
Oh, 19. Gotcha.
Yeah, Fallen Order was 2019.
Gotcha. Okay. I put about 2 or 3 hours in it when I first played it, and then like seeing that this was coming out, I wanted to play a bit more. So I have probably about 8 hours into it now, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I will say I am not a big fan of those types of games, the puzzles, trying to figure out where you go. Those aren't the games I typically play, especially when you come up to these big boss. You have to dodge, you have to parry, and it just reminds me a lot of games that you play, like the Dark Souls series. Which
I was gonna say, do you know what you're playing right now?
and,
Do you know what you're playing right now?
Yeah, you know how
you are essentially playing a Star Wars Soulsborne's game, and I love that for you so much because it's just gonna open a whole new world of games for you to play that I would love to watch you play.
You know what I did though? I straight put it to story mode. Like I didn't put it on any difficulty. I just want to enjoy the story. Just use my lightsaber.
You did not.
I did. So these bosses,
You did not.
I just roll.
You get out. You get out right now, sir.
I just roll in there, hit my slow mo on them a couple times, then smack, they're dead. I'm like, okay, that was easy. Next spot.
Boo. Boo.
I don't like to be okay. I like a challenge in my video games, but not if I can't beat it after like 6 tries, and then I just start getting frustrated.
I mean, come on. Everybody needs to experience that. This is my 95th attempt at this battle, and then you get that kill shot, and it's just like pandemonium erupts, and you're like, I got it.
I don't know. I like to play like those kinds of games as a linear story, and if I'm dying 100 times, then I'm like, I don't remember what I'm doing now.
No, you remember, dude. You remember.
I guess, but
all right. Either way, if you put it on story mode, that's still good. That's still good. But yeah, the game takes place 5 years after Fallen Order, so he's a little bit older. The thing that I do really love about this second series, and this is something that you see not typically in Soulsborne's games. So like, because you're never really the same character, but since you are the same character, I think it's really cool that you've kind of like kept all of your abilities from the first game, and all of that is kind of transferred over into the second game. So because it would be weird if you kind of like they'd have to explain that in the story, like how did you get less of it? Yeah, like how did you get less of a Jedi in the second game? Like what happened? Did you just like forget everything that was taught to you? So like I think it's really cool that you get to keep your abilities and that you're kind of learning new abilities along the way, and then also that they've kind of generated the AI enemies to be reflective of that, so that you have your powers in the beginning, but you're not overpowered, and you're still striving to get to like this next level of Jedi-ness by learning new moves that you've never learned before, and the enemies get progressively harder along the way. So I think they did a really, really good job at that, because I was excited that you didn't lose everything, but then the first thing that came to my mind was like, well, I'm just gonna be super OP right
Right.
now, and I'm just
Right.
gonna like I'm just gonna be plowing through the first part of this game, and that wasn't the case. Like the enemies were still challenging. It was still, like an experience. It wasn't just a, kind of run through, stab.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I like that. I like that a lot.
Not for me, man.
Story
I'm just
mode,
going right through and ripping to shreds from.
story mode. We gotta talk about story
No, I
mode,
think
bro. We gotta talk about that. I believe in you. You believe in you. You put that difficulty up and you stab some stuff. It's gonna be good.
All right, I will. I will complete it, and I
Yeah.
will put it on the hardest difficulty. Which this game is coming
Yeah.
out on the 28th, so I have to beat. That's this Friday. That's this Friday.
Yeah.
So
28th
I have
coming
to
out
beat
very
it.
very
I have
soon.
to beat it by Friday and then play it while I'm on
Yeah.
vacation because
You're,
I am very excited. So
you're gonna have to put in some stream work
yeah,
and put that up
yep.
there.
So
But yeah, I'm excited for the new game. Star Wars does this a lot, so the second game is going to be a much darker story than the first game. Which I mean, like I said, Star Wars does this all the time, going all the way back
like their
from
origin of like
yeah, like the origin, like Return of the Jedi, Empire Strikes Back. I mean, they always kind of seem to do like a happy story than a darker
yep.
story.
Yeah,
They
the
always
whole
kind of flip
series. Yep.
flop like that. So I'm excited for the darker story. The thing that I'm not super excited about, and I don't know if like as a gamer, I don't know if this annoys people or if this is like an enjoyment for people that I just don't get on board with. But you're gonna have 5 different fighting stances, which means you have 5 different move
hmm
sets that you could be using at all time. Do you know about
I
this?
did not see that yet.
Okay, yeah. So you're basically going to be having 5 different stances, which means you are going to have to decide which move set you like to use a lot. And I think they took a lot of this from like the Dark Souls types of builds, right? So you could have one stance where you're super powerful, but you don't have a ton of range. You can have one stance where you're super like a dex build, like you're super like fast, but you don't
You're
do a
squishy.
ton of damage. Like yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like I'm not really sure how I feel about that because the first game wasn't like that at all.
No.
You kind of just yeah, you just were who you were, and I'm not really sure where they got this idea from, other than they're really just like really trying to focus on it being like a Souls
Right.
adaptation, and just kind of working with different builds. But I kind of just wish they had just one move set like the original game. Like they shouldn't have, I don't think they should have wavered off that original, just one move set, just learn the moves, get good, and like there you go.
I think so. Here's another little bit of a disagreement with you again.
You like
Well,
that?
I don't know if I necessarily like it. I can see why they would do something like that because
Why do you think?
people like to play different ways. You know what I mean? Some people like to play, and then having one set, kind of like the first one, is you're set to play a specific way. Whereas if you have an option like I want to be up close and personal, or I want to be back more ranged, and I think that's kind of cool. And also, I'm
I
coming from a
mean,
game where you like I've been playing tons of different games with like building aspects of like building your character up. So maybe that's just me being a little bit
right.
more biased, but I think people want to be able to play a specific way. You know what I mean? Like for me,
So I
in like shooting games, I like to use SMGs because I want to get up as fast as I can because I like to be fast fire rate, just up close and personal. That's how I like to play games. All my games, any game I play that has a gun, SMG, or
yeah.
or when I played that WWE 2K, I had
Yeah.
a high flyer because they're fast and little. So I just like fast and little
Well,
people.
okay. I do understand wanting to play the game a different way, and I think that works, especially, like I said, I hate to keep going back to Dark Souls, but it's literally like a perfect
Mhm.
adaptation. So you can in Dark Souls, you can build your own builds, right?
Right.
So you could build a strength build, you can build a dex build, you can do more magic, blah 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 blah. But in this instance, I don't know if that works, and I think it's because you're not really upgrading your
Right.
character at any point. You don't have like you're not having like skill points to use. So you could say like I love this stance, but like are you going to be able to say you want to do a stance that's all focused on speed? Like are you going to have skill points to like upgrade your speed to make you faster to make that build work?
Uh,
Or it's just your character just is your character
well, I don't know
and you figure out
because
how to learn this move set.
I think they will have some sort of skill point. I think they have to. The first one did. First one had those skill points.
I don't know. From what I've seen, they're not
They're ditching the
really.
skill points.
I don't know if they're ditching them, but I haven't heard anything about them bringing them back,
I wouldn't.
which
If
scares me.
I think they have to if they're bringing these 5 different move sets, and then I feel like it's gonna be like a tree, and we're like, okay, I'm gonna pick one on this way. Oh, it's going towards the speed build. You know what I mean? So like, or I
Yeah.
want a little bit of speed, a little bit of I don't know strength. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be something like that, and then you can only get so far
Yeah.
on one, and then versus the other. Who knows?
I mean, so I specifically went out and kind of searched for this because I thought that it would be an issue, and I haven't seen anything about them bringing the skill points back. Now, I haven't seen anything about them taking the skill points away either.
Right.
But I would just in my heart of hearts feel a lot better knowing that they are indeed there.
Right.
So if anybody at Lucas can just like put out a little snippet being like, "Hey, skill points are still good,"
Right.
like I would feel a lot better about these 5 stances.
Right.
Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie.
Do you think it's gonna be better than the first?
I think people that want a more challenging gameplay experience and people that want a darker story, yes,
Okay.
I think it will be better.
Yeah.
For a casual gamer that really wants, not a casual gamer, I don't mean it like that. Not a casual gamer. I'm sorry, not a casual gamer. Not that I didn't mean that's a terrible choice of words. Okay. For a gamer that doesn't necessarily want not a challenge, but like would like a more
Like how I like to play, like a streamlined.
yeah, like a more casual
Yeah,
walkthrough.
right.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
Have a
I don't
challenge where
think
I'm
those
not frustrated playing the game. Like I want to be able to
right.
like die a few times, sure, but like if I'm like sitting at the same boss, pounding my head against my desk, not killing any enemies like the bosses, then I don't want to play a game like that. But
Yeah. So, I mean, I think for more of that casual experience, now, of course, you might be able to, tweak the difficulty or whatever, but I do think for more of that casual experience, this will not be a better game for players. And players that were looking for more of that Souls-like type of difficulty, it's going to be a more enjoyable game for them.
Right.
Because that was one of the knocks on the first game was it was Souls-like, but it was super easy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
yeah, so the Souls players come in and they're like, this isn't Souls, this is Baby Souls.
Yes.
But at
yeah,
the same time, it's
exactly.
not the Souls, it's Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this I know. I think just like any game that kind of builds off that same like FromSoft engine though is like so open to like I like don't get me wrong. I love Souls. I love Soulsborne. I love all of it. The Soulsborne crowd is like they put themselves at like a boop. You know what I mean?
the
Like
best
it's just like
gamer.
exactly.
In terms of
Exactly, dude.
difficult
It's like
games, like an impossible.
in terms of difficult games, yeah, they wear those like they
So-
wear those wins as like a badge of armor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like they'll come in and they'll be very very brutal on a game. The baby souls, blah blah blah,
Right.
all that stuff.
I think though, they're trying to cater to their Star Wars fan base too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Who is
which they
playing?
should.
Who is playing the game more? More the Dark Souls gamers, or is it going to be more so the Star Wars fan base? I think that's they got to find a happy medium too. I think that's where it's going to come down to. They'll have to find that happy medium with this next game, which I think they did with the first one. A lot of people enjoyed the first one.
No, I really enjoyed
Yeah.
the first one, but I didn't go into it thinking like this should be a Bloodborne, difficulty style game.
Right.
You know what I mean? I did not think that at all. Especially from a Star Wars
Right.
franchise. I mean, the Star Wars games have typically been very fun playthroughs, and it's not because they're not challenging,
Right.
but they're not like ridiculous. Like if you really go back, the hardest kind of Star Wars games that I've ever played were like all the way back on the Super Nintendo era.
Right.
Like those games were nearly impossible, but you start getting into the PlayStation era with the Force Awakens and stuff like that, and it's like those games were just fun. It was
Right.
just a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, and like and that's really what we want to do. You want to like, especially if you're being a Jedi, right?
Right.
You just want to have fun.
Yeah, and
like I just want to have a lightsaber in my hand and just
And that's kind of how I
know?
like to play the game. And like Jedi's are OP. You know what I mean? Like I should expect to go in there and just slaughter everything on my path until I face
Exactly.
Darth
Yeah.
Vader or anything like that. And that's kind of another reason why I like to play
Exactly.
on story mode rather than whatever the next tier of difficulty is. I did start on that tier of difficulty, but I wanted to get through even more of the game quicker so I can
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this game is super fun and understand it. But again, Star Wars, every game I've played has just been fun when I played Star Wars.
Yeah.
Battle,
They're just
yeah.
fun.
Battlefront
Yeah.
as well.
And then Battlefront was cool. Yeah, Battlefront was cool.
But it was a first
I
person
liked
shooter.
watching
Yeah, so you never
Battlefront.
played that. You're not a first person shooter guy.
Not like I'm not like a very big first person shooter, but watching that game was fun.
Yeah.
Because I felt like entrenched in
Right.
it, right? So like I am, like I don't know a lot about like Call of Duty like storyline
Right.
or like anything like that, but like I know the Star Wars
Right.
franchise. So like you see those characters that you love just kind of like running around the screen. Like it doesn't matter if it's a first person shooter or
Right.
not. I'm just happy to see it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
running
Like
as
I'm
a
just excited to
stormtrooper,
see
like
it.
yeah, an
Yeah.
ATST, like that's so cool. And then you pick up
Right?
the tag to make you like Darth Vader, and you just go choke some people, like force choke, and throw them
Yeah.
across the map. Those are so fun.
Nostalgia.
Exactly. And
Nostalgia wins every time.
Right.
Every single
Right.
time.
And I think that's
But,
where
Yeah.
that's why I like Star Wars so much.
I will say one thing that you might not like, and they are gonna have some kind of different type of things in this game. So like they're gonna have some Zelda-esque Breath of the Wild style kind of what do they call them? Force chambers. So it's gonna be kind of like the tombs in Zelda, where it's kind of like a break from the action, and it's gonna be very puzzle based to like unlock rewards and stuff like
and
that.
that's how this one,
How-
the first one is too. They have some puzzles. Like, I don't like puzzles. If I can't,
It's gonna go a little heavier on the
Oh, dang.
puzzles. This one's a little
Yeah.
heavier on the puzzles.
I don't like
Yeah.
puzzles. Again, I just want to be able
I
to get
like
through
it.
the linear story. I like a linear.
I like.
I'm probably
it.
one of the only
I like
people
the
when I play
puzzles.
games, it has to be linear, but I just like to play to like understand the story rather than let me go
Yeah.
find this trinket and like I just want to play the story and get engulfed in the story. I feel like when games start adding those puzzles and those you have to get this and that, I get less engulfed into the game and the story. It makes me
Do you
Yeah,
really?
I feel like cuz story games I feel like should be played as a story linearly. That's my opinion. When I get distracted and like forget what I'm doing because I have to go find this shrine, I'm like, why am I doing this? I just want to go up there and kill Darth Vader. Like that's the way I like to play games. Like
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like that stuff.
yeah.
It's like a break from the action. Like you ever game and like you don't really want to just have like nonstop, just like explosions in your face and like, oh, I gotta kill this guy, and you're like running and like, no, you never have
No,
that.
I think
You
that maybe that
nev-
comes from my experiences like playing like every Call of Duty, and because Call of Duty is
Yeah.
like action, 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 cutscene, movie style, action, 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 cutscene. Like that's what I like in my games. I think, and I think maybe that's why I don't want to see a puzzle based game.
Oh no.
But
See, I like hunting for that stuff. You ever seen The Big Bang Theory where Sheldon's like watching, he's like playing Red Dead Redemption, and they're like, what are you doing? And he's like, it's a good night for a walk. And he's like just walking around, like not doing anything
Right.
in the game. Like I do that stuff sometimes. I just want to like, I'm going to load this game up with my only intention is just kind of like looking around, and I want to find some cool gear for like my dude. You know what I mean?
I feel that. And I guess I don't know. I like, and going back to the game I've been playing a lot recently, the Division 2, that is a game where you have to
Yep.
go searching for all the loot, do a whole bunch of side quests before you can do like main quests. So I mean,
Yep.
I'm starting to find some enjoyment in it. But if it doesn't hold my attention because I have to deviate from the story, that's another way I play games. If I have to like, I play the story as fast as I can, and then
I noticed that.
and then I go do all the side missions because
I'm the exact
I
opposite.
want to keep the story fresh in my mind. And if it's taking me 4 weeks because I'm doing all the side missions, I'm gonna forget what I'm doing and like what the story's about.
Aren't you afraid you're going to miss stuff though?
I'll go back and get it. And then when I go back,
What if you can't?
well, then I'm screwed and I'll start over.
No, you can't do that.
I start stuff over all the time. But like,
Guys, let us know. Let us know in the comments if you play. Do you crush storyline or do you clear the map before moving on to the next story mission? Because I will clear the map. I don't want anything left on the map except for that next story mission, because I'm always afraid that if you get to a certain point in the game, like that side quest is dead. You can't do that anymore.
well, then they shouldn't make it like that.
What if you miss out on like this boss sword that you could have got, or like this crazy ability?
I don't feel like I'm missing. I would rather miss out on that thing, like the side quest things, than the actual story. I know you're not missing out on the story because you can obviously, like, you have to continue, but for me, like,
Yeah.
I want it fresh in my head, and if it's not fresh in my head, then I'll lose interest. Like, do you remember? I
Okay.
think you were there when I was playing the new, like, the Spider-Man Miles Morales game.
Yeah.
I beat that in one night because I just did
Yeah.
not. I didn't deviate from the story. New blue mission pop up. Let me run to it. Like, that's how I play my
Let
game.
me run
Yeah.
to it. The blue missions only.
Yep, exactly. And that's how I like to play my games.
Well,
To each his own, though. You know what I mean?
to each his
Yeah.
own. Yeah, to each his own.
That's funny.
But I don't know. Like I said, these are optional. It's just for, gear and stuff
Right.
like that. So you can just run right past them and go to the blue mission.
And also with how many games come out, like, if I'm spending 80 hours on one game, it's like I'm missing out the next game that's coming out and the next game that's coming out. You know what I mean?
I get engulfed, dude.
I get engulfed in the story till it's over. Once the story's
I
over,
put like 90 something hours into Hogwarts.
did you?
Yeah.
That's a lot of hours. That's
A lot of
yeah,
hours in it. It's a lot of hours of me just like
walking around.
running around the forest looking for chests. I'm like,
So I actually didn't play
okay,
that
this
game.
is-
I didn't play it.
Oh, you gotta
I
play
played
it.
it in-
You gotta play it.
I played it for an hour, but I feel
And
like
then
I
gave
played
up?
it. No, I didn't give up. That's when I started playing again a lot of the Division 2. I just got so engulfed
Yeah.
in that. I still am, but that's gonna be like the joke of the podcast. Me talking about the Division over and over. That's the only game he's playing. But no, I am playing other games, but that's when I'm really playing a lot of. But I feel like
You really do love Division.
I do. I don't know why, and
Yeah.
it's a game that just there's always something for me to do. But
Yeah.
with Hogwarts though, I feel like I have
The
played.
last thing I do
Oh.
want to say just real quick on Star Wars is I know we've been talking about the Souls like thing a lot, and there's a lot of traversal improvements in this game. The one thing that I will say is you now have this like hook shot
I saw
thing.
that.
Bro, that's a blatant rip off of Sekiro. like a blatant rip off of Sekiro. That whip kind of that 100%.
They're like you said though, maybe they're trying to be a little bit more difficult and towards that.
That's just like we're
Souls-esque
not
game.
even hiding it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's just like we're not even hiding it anymore. This is a Souls game.
They wanted
now.
a different
This
way
is-
of
This
trim-
is Soul Star Wars.
they wanted a different way of traversing though.
Yeah,
I think that's probably what it
this
is.
is Souls Wars coming out on April 28th.
Well, they stole it from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man did it first.
true.
So, but yeah,
Can't even argue.
Right.
I won't even argue
Right.
there. So, but yeah, I'll be picking it up. It looks like a good game. I enjoyed the 1st
Mm-hmm.
one. I'm sure I'll enjoy this one. How do you feel about it being better on PS5 though? Did you hear this?
well, it's not gonna be better than
Did you hear
PC.
this? It's gonna be better than
How?
PC. For one reason, DualSense controller.
Okay, I can plug a DualSense controller into my PC. I think.
Can you?
I believe so. I don't know. I know you can definitely do it with the Xbox controller. I think you can, but maybe not.
You can't do it. Can't do it. This PS5 exclusive with a DualSense controller. Your amount of trigger is going to control like the amount. Like if you want to
Oh.
move something slowly, you slowly grip the trigger, or if you want to move something fast, you smash the trigger.
That
I
is
don't
kind
know.
of cool.
I don't know
That is
how-
kind of cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
That is very
It's kind of cool.
You know, funny thing.
You know, I'm team.
Yeah, your team
Go
PS5
ahead.
for sure.
I'm team PS5 for sure. But
It's funny. I saw like you know how they've been so out of stock everywhere.
yeah,
I was at Best Buy the other day, literally like 15 of them. 15 PS5s,
Okay.
like 10 Xbox Series X's. I'm like,
let's go.
dang, if I wasn't moving, I would have bought both. But with Move, I can't do
Nice.
it.
It's finally coming back around.
Kind of same
It's
thing with
finally
PC
coming back
stuff too.
around.
PC like graphics
Yeah.
cards is dropping in price and whatnot. So
Yeah, like you said, there's finally more supply than demand.
exactly. Yep. So
Yeah.
But
thank you
Thank
for
you.
that.
thank you.
I'm so sick of paying $1,200 for a graphics card.
Right. No more scalping, please.
no more scalping.
So I mean that brings
yeah.
us to Super Mario Brothers. Have you seen it yet?
Super Mario Brothers. I've not
Oh
seen
my
it.
goodness, man! I'm gonna ruin it for you.
I've not seen it.
I'm gonna ruin.
You are gonna
I'm
ruin
gonna
it for me.
Spoil it for.
Yeah.
Spoil it for everybody.
Here's the thing. Yeah, go ahead and spoil it. I'm not a big spoilers guy. You know what I mean? I know people don't really believe me when I say that. I'm really not a huge spoiler guy. Sometimes I even prefer to know what's going to happen before I go into it, which is kind of weird. But yeah, I've seen some trailers. So like trailer wise, I think the trailer looks pretty good. Lots of Easter eggs. I mean, I saw, Donkey, Toad, they got the Rainbow Road, they got, character designs looking good. I like the little snippets of like the old school NES levels that they kind of threw in there with like that kind of format. But yeah, I'm curious to see what you thought of the movie.
I thought it. Well, let me start off with saying I went to this movie. It was the middle of the day, like the day it came out, or like the next day,
Yeah.
and I watched it at like 10 a.m. with a 2-year-old. I brought my son to the movies. And let me back up
you
here.
Poor soul.
Let me back up here and say we watched tons of trailers on it, and I was like, Clark, that's my son's name. I was like, do you want to go watch Mario? Like, I'm so excited. Are you excited? And so we sat down,
Yeah.
we watched every single trailer, we watched every single clip, everything we could find, watched even gameplay of the Mario, just so he could like understand the excitement of watching a full movie of Mario. And then I was like, all right,
Yeah.
we're gonna practice like we're going to the movies, and we ate popcorn, we watched like his favorite Disney movies. I'm like, all right, this is gonna work. Like, I'm gonna be able to go see this movie with him because my wife works from home, so like I had to take him with me. But
Yeah.
and so I was like, all right, next day came, I was like, do you want to go see a movie? He's super excited. I was like, we're gonna get popcorn and candy. We get through all the and he was sitting really good, eating his little popcorn with his little fingies and just nums, and then got through all the trailers, quiet as can be, just snacking on his popcorn. Credits start to the beginning credits roll, starting to pop up.
Yeah.
10 minutes into this movie, go home now.
Oh no.
10 minutes into the movie, I'm like, are you kidding me? I just want to watch Super Mario. Let me relive some of my childhood, please. And
Oh my god, how long did he last? The
we
whole
made
movie?
it the whole movie.
Oh my
If
god.
it wasn't a daytime movie, we would have left. He was antsy,
Yeah.
he was asking questions, he was screaming, like not screaming to the point where like it was really loud, but like he was talking loud. And so
Yeah.
what I ended up doing, we were in the very back row, the far left of the movie theater. So there's nobody by us. There's probably 15 people total in the whole movie theater. And so I
Yeah.
gave him like his phone, and he just watched his own little YouTube channels that he likes for a few hours just so we can watch this movie. And then
Solid cost of that ticket.
Right.
Wasted on YouTube.
Right. Well, it was like $5 for him, which isn't bad, but ended up being like, are you kidding me? And then like he ate all his popcorn, and then he's like, I want your popcorn. So he took my bag of popcorn, ate all his
Bruh.
candy, and then he's like, Dad had candy? And so he ate all my candy. I was like, just let me finish the movie. The last 15 minutes of the movie, he was like, that's when he was really starting to get like loud, and like I was like, Clark, we are almost done. Let me see the ending. And so we made it to the end. But I do not recommend, if you're thinking about taking a toddler to the movies, especially a 2-year-old, don't. It was brutal.
Don't do it.
But my thoughts
Yeah,
on the movie,
don't do
it was
it.
really cool. I would say like the storyline, the way they did the story wasn't my favorite. I feel like that was kind of meh. But the overall Easter eggs, like you were saying, just that's what was fun. And like just seeing some like, I played that, like I remember that, like I did that. And then the rap at the beginning of the movie, like,
Do you remember the rap?
yeah, that's what was in there. It was at the beginning of the movie. It's like,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was super cool. And I thought like some of those Easter eggs, the Rainbow Road, It starts out with like Bowser's lair too, like his floating lair. It was really cool, and I just enjoyed like all that. And then speaking of like the Rainbow Road, or sorry, let me back up. Before they get to Rainbow Road, they're building their cars, like like a Wii or not Wii Sports, like the new Mario
Mario
Kart,
Kart.
yeah, Mario Kart 8, where you had to like pick.
Yeah.
It was the exact same way to pick like your cart. That's how they did it. It
Really?
was so cool. It was in like Donkey Kong's
That's sick.
like layer or whatever you call it, center or world.
Yeah.
And so that was cool. And then Mario and Donkey Kong, like on Rainbow Road, they get hit with a blue shell. Like one of the characters turns into the blue shell and he goes after him. It was so cool. There's so much stuff.
Nice.
And
Did they do the lightning?
yeah, they did the lightning. They did a lot.
They did the
There's
lightning
so
and made
much they
everybody
did.
small.
Yeah, they did.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they did.
God.
Yeah, they did. And because it was a
That's my
big old,
favorite one.
one of the Koopas that was driving after him with a huge car, and they're like little bug sized. It was so funny.
Yeah, they're like little bug
Yeah.
sizes. Like,
Yeah, that was so good.
That's sick.
And then
That's pretty cool, man.
and then at the end, sorry, I'm ruining it for you, man. Mario,
No, ruin it
and
up.
Mario and Luigi, they grab the star, and they both get you hear the theme music of them when they get the star, and they're invincible,
Yeah.
and then they just start crushing on Bowser. It was really cool.
So, I mean, do you think the Easter eggs was enough?
For me, it was. And
Was it enough to is it worth it to go see this movie?
oh yeah, for sure. I think so. I think it was definitely worth it.
Just temper expectations.
I think so. Especially like I
Okay.
think everybody else is thinking so too, because it became it like broke the record for like highest box office earning video game movie. So I feel like it's
Yeah.
making its way up for everybody. You know what I mean?
But it's got some pretty terrible reviews.
Does it?
So much so that I copied down a couple of my favorite, and I'd like to read them.
Okay,
for
let's
you.
read them. Let's hear it.
And I would like to see if you agree or disagree
Okay.
with these reviews. All right. Review number 1. Just another soulless ploy to sell us merchandise. Do you agree or disagree?
I disagree. I think
Disagree.
I disagree because like Mario's been around forever. Like people buy Mario stuff already. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's why I disagree.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Tedious and flat in all senses. A disappointment to match the live action version of 1993.
I would kind of agree in terms of like the storyline was I did not like like I mean it was Bowser like wanting to marry Peach, like that was the storyline, right? Which is the games.
Yeah.
Like he wants to do that in a few of the games. So or like he wants
Yeah.
Peach to himself. I just didn't think it was movie good. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that kind of story is movie good.
Okay.
But in terms of like
the
everything
internet
else,
was
I think like the Easter eggs and like the stuff that like oh, I played that in the game or like that level, like I remember it, like that was cool.
all right. The next one. The internet was right. Chris Pratt is all wrong as the title character.
I liked him, so I kind of disagree.
You liked
I like
him?
Chris Pratt though.
That's a disagree. You like
Yeah, I
him.
like Chris Pratt.
How was his woohoo?
I thought it was pretty good.
How was his? It's a me Mario.
It was good. It was good.
It was good.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
so.
I love Chris Pratt.
Yeah,
I don't,
see,
I don't like
people
when
are
people shit on
haters.
Chris Pratt.
People
I
are
like
haters.
him. Yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
I think he's a cool dude. I liked him all the way back in Parks and Rec. I just
Yeah.
thought he was like. I just always thought he was like a funny
Right.
dude. But all right, next, whatever fan service thrills we might get from seeing those familiar pipes and bullet bills retrofitted for the big screen fall away fast when there's nothing else to prop the thing up. These are brutal.
Wait, say that. I don't. Wait, what? I don't understand that one.
Whatever fan service thrills we might get from seeing those familiar pipes and bullet bills retrofitted for the big screen fall away fast when there's nothing else to prop the thing up.
I disagree. I don't know.
Disagree?
I don't know.
It's a series of Easter eggs in search of a story.
That's it. That's the movie. I agree with that one. I agree with that one.
Given the innovative design of many Super Mario Brothers games, would have been too much for the film story to be a little more, well, super?
I agree. That's the thing about the movie is it didn't have the story.
These are brutal, dude. These are brutal reviews.
Welcome to the internet.
Fortunately, this loud, hectic movie doesn't overstay its welcome because it wouldn't have the material to last a second longer.
At the end, yeah.
Yeah, you
I
agree?
agree.
Yeah, the ending falls flat. Okay.
Yeah, so
All
I mean,
right. Those are some brutal reviews.
again, I think you go into that movie not expecting a good plot, like a good tell of the story. Go in there like
Yeah.
wanting to see your favorite Mario characters on the big screen with a bunch of like video game references. I think that's what you got to go in there expecting with that movie.
Yeah, because again, guys, all these reviews are from, quote unquote professional movie critics or whatever, and it's like, so I think Rotten Tomatoes is a great kind of like example of just exactly, what the issue is, and like, so Rotten Tomatoes from a critic's side is what, like 56%, something like that. I think it's somewhere around
Yeah.
56% on Rotten Tomatoes for critics, but from the fan base, it's around 93, right? Because what were you expecting?
Right.
Like what is the story of the Super Mario game?
Exactly.
You just run through a bunch of weird stuff and try to save Peach, or you're saving somebody, you save Toad, or like these games don't really have a storyline. I mean, you got to remember this franchise came out in 88
Yeah.
or earlier.
Right.
I mean, there just wasn't any real story to go off of ever.
Right.
And I think what the fans really wanted was just something to like see their favorite stuff like kind of come to life
Exactly.
on the big screen.
And that's what it
I
did
think
for me.
from what I've seen, yeah, I mean, from what I've seen on, trailers, and obviously a couple scenes have been leaked and everything like that. And from what I've seen, it's like they did that. So
I agree, man. I agree with you right.
I don't know.
Fully. Again.
Fully.
Just...
One last thing before we switch topics. Does Bowser's fingers look like penises?
I didn't look at his fingers. Is that what they're saying? Is they look like penises?
That's a legitimate thing. That's a legitimate thing.
I don't remember.
People are saying that his fingers have a very
penis shaped like
a very phallic appearance.
Oh no. Well, you gotta remember, I did watch it with a 2-year-old, so some of those minute details I probably missed, but
apparently there's like one scene where he's like poking Mario in the face and it looks very not good.
Maybe they'll fix it in the...
Do you know what scene this was?
No, I don't remember. I'm trying to think. No,
yeah, he's like poking Mario in the face, and it like all you can see is his finger in Mario's face, and it does not look
awesome.
it does not look good.
Not
great.
Although one of the biggest things that came out of the movie is Jack Black singing Peaches.
Oh, dude, I love Jack Black.
And they're saying that's
I feel like
up for like that could be up for a Grammy as an original song.
Really?
Yeah, in a movie.
That's amazing.
Yeah. If that gets voted as like best original song in a movie, I don't know what the proper Grammy term is, but that'd be so hilarious.
I feel like Jack Black's he's worth the price of admission alone.
Right. He's
I mean,
such a good dude.
Yeah, what he does with characters is just so funny, and just obviously the Tenacious D influences with all the songs and stuff like that, and it's just like I don't know. Like I'm back in Super Mario on this one. I'm not really sure what quote unquote these movie critics were thinking they were gonna get, but I think the fans got what they want, and
that's what it comes down to, man.
Good on them for not caring. Yeah, good on them for not caring what quote unquote movie critics at the LA Times care about, and they made what the fans wanted to see, which is just a bunch of Easter eggs of their everybody's favorite stuff.
Like how Harry Potter's gonna be. Isn't that what?
Next topic.
Okay, next topic. All right, the new Zelda coming out.
New Zelda.
This is your zone. I watched quite a bit.
Yeah, new Zelda.
I looked up the Breath of the Wild, and honestly, it's pretty intriguing. It seems cool to me.
Yeah.
But again, I'll let you kind of take
There's a few things.
The reins with this one.
Yes. So a few things about this. They are saying that this could possibly be the biggest open world of the year, which I mean, if you're talking about like, bigger than Elden Ring, like that's insane how big that this area is going to be. And it's also going to be the first time that Zelda will use the same map as the previous game. So in a lot of the previous titles, it's kind of just a one and done, especially going all the way back from like Super Nintendo, N64 era, Twilight Princess, all that stuff. So that you will have the exact same map as Breath of the Wild, which I think is really, really cool. The thing that they're introducing is like another level of the map where things are going to be raised up into the sky. So I'm super excited for it. I think this is going to be, arguably the biggest drop on Switch. Could be ever. I think could be ever.
Okay, here's my question. Again, I've never really
Okay.
played the Zeldas. Those are again not my type of games. But
Okay.
what is up with some of those weird abilities that they're adding? Like, did you watch?
What?
Did you watch any of the gameplay?
So yeah, the recall.
Yeah,
There's recall, ascend,
fuse.
bind. Yeah. I mean, I think it's kind of just a new way to like, give the character something new, like
Mhm.
new abilities, right? So if you go back, what they kind of really got away from. So if you go back into the Zelda games,
Mhm.
you always kind of had abilities that you can use, but they're always attached to items, right? So instead of collecting a bunch of items for things to use, I think this new quote unquote ability system is kind of the way to do that. So, you go all the way back to like Ocarina in N64 era, like you had fire arrows, you had like Din's power. You had these abilities before, but they were always attached to something, and I think this is kind of just their way of making it like Link now just has these abilities, and they don't need to necessarily be attached to an object.
Okay, that makes sense. I just thought they were goofy.
But you think they're
Yeah, I
goofy?
mean, but again, I've never played the Zelda game, so that's like I don't have huge expectations of what the game should be like. But I will say, like,
Yeah,
it's goofy enough where I'm intrigued. When something's goofy like that,
yeah.
it's like I'm gonna try it. Now, is it a continuation of the Breath of the Wild?
It is.
Okay,
It's a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. So actually, if you played Breath of the Wild, and you did some certain things throughout the game, it's a very very long process. So I'm not going to explain it right now, but you have to, just like anything, you have to do very certain things in the game, story wise and sequentially in order to get this to trigger. But anyway, if you do it, the post credit scene is Princess Zelda and Link standing up at the top saying like, something's not working right. It doesn't feel right, but we have to rebuild first before we can take care of the problem, which essentially is going to lead into this game. So I mean, a lot of people might not have seen that cutscene because, like I said, the order of events and things that you need to do in order to get that cutscene to trigger is pretty in depth.
right.
But yeah, it's going to be a direct sequel, basically picking up from that point. So I wouldn't be surprised if they started the game, like the opening sequence would be basically an exact
Right.
replica of
Like a
that
refresh.
closing
Yeah.
post credit scene. Yeah, because most people haven't seen it.
Right. And that's another thing. That's
But
another
yeah, it
thing
is
with
it.
Zelda or Legend of Zelda. It's puzzle based. You have to figure out everything on your own. So maybe I'm not
Yeah,
that
it
interested.
it is very puzzle based. It's very puzzle based. It's very figure it out on your own. I've honestly been a diehard fan. I've been a diehard
Yeah.
fan of the series, going all the way back. And I actually did bring some stuff. So I brought a little show and tell stuff just to show how big of a fan I am. We got some N64
Oh
action. This
wow.
is yeah, it's my favorite game of all time, Zelda, on the N64.
Original box too. It looks like.
No, no,
No.
these are aftermarket
Oh,
boxes, but
gotcha.
I do have the instruction manual, so the real
That's
instruction
pretty
manual
cool.
and the real cart.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this cart is they actually gave um this cart like the first edition gold cart.
Hmm.
Um, it was actually taken off the shelves because it had some music in it, specifically in the Fire Temple. That was kind of it, it I don't think it was an Islamic chant, but they were saying it was an Islamic
Oh,
chant, so they just kind of removed it.
gotcha.
But that's how you can tell if you got the first
Hmm.
one. The first edition will have that music still in it.
Interesting.
But yeah, I love the series, man. I love the series. It's good.
I just never could get into it.
Zelda, little Super Nintendo. We got the Super Nintendo action. And we gotta go Twilight Princess. I had to bring Twilight Princess. I love this one. So dark. First dark series.
That's pretty cool.
Super dark Link.
That's pretty cool.
But I really like the series, man. I think it's like I said, it's just got a fan base. It's just got such a huge fan base that honestly, I think they could do a little bit of whatever they wanted. And I do think that the release is going to be gigantic. Like I said, I think it's going to be the biggest release on Switch to date, and I definitely pre-ordered it. It's going to be sick.
Yeah, that comes out May 12th, correct?
May 12th, and you know what they are saying is possibly, and fans have been waiting for this for a super long time. There's a possibility that Princess Zelda is finally a playable character. I don't want to
Get your hopes up.
I don't want to throw out misinformation. Somebody fact check me on that one. But it is a possibility that you will actually get to play as Princess Zelda, not Link, as
Well, the way
as
the
most
one
people
of the
assume that.
cutscenes like alluded to, it seemed like that was the way it was gonna go. Like I don't know much about it, but like one of the cutscenes seemed like something happens to Link and you have to be Zelda. But I don't know much about the Legend of Zelda, but that's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, so I mean, they always kind of do this. They always kind of tease at Princess Zelda being a playable character finally, and it
Never
never
happens.
really happens to be. But I really do think, and again, don't quote me. Somebody fact check me. But I really do think that this could be the game where you actually do get to play as Princess Zelda. So we will see
That's pretty cool.
about that.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, and Ganon, dude. I don't know if you watched any of the
I did.
trailers, but Ganon looks like a badass.
Yeah.
That was the number one complaint from Breath of the Wild is like Ganon didn't really have a role
Right.
other than just being like an end boss
Right.
and just like a monstrous end boss. Like he has a purpose in this game. It's a true villain. It's a true end boss who interacts with the storyline, who has dialogue. Like in Breath of the Wild, he barely had any dialogue. He was just this weird monster, and you're just like, all right, well, the story kind of fell flat there.
Gotcha.
But
But you're super
yeah,
excited.
this one, but yeah, man, super excited for the game. The vehicles look pretty sweet. The weapon, the one thing I do want to say just real quick is my only complaint, unfortunately, the weapons do still break, which was a huge complaint from the first one. So if you're looking for a patch of non-breakable weapons, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. But yeah, I still love the game. I still love the series. I'll definitely be picking it up. And one thing you might want to look into is the amiibos, because amiibos are dying right now. They've been dying for a super long time, but they are putting out custom amiibos for this release. And I do think that this is going to be one of the series of amiibos that may actually turn out to be worth some money since nobody will be purchasing them. So keep an eye out for that. Zelda coming soon. Pick it up. If you haven't tried out the series yet, I definitely think you're gonna like it. But
I'll look into it.
yeah, man, good stuff. You got anything for him?
Yeah, thanks for watching this episode or listening to the episode wherever you listen to us. And make sure to follow us on all social media platforms. Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast.
Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast. Also on the YouTube, if you're watching the video cast, please hit that like and subscribe. It really does help.
Peace out, go Scout!